Is it possible to incorporate a rocket stove with mass that would meet weight requirements for a tiny home? I don't plan on moving it around much, but it still needs to be able to take at least one trip down the road. I don't know if this is even possible, but I thought I could ask you. So it's a great question, and I get it very, very often. And there's many components to this, and so it's one I really wanted to go over. So the very first one is the issue of weight, and that is a rocket mass heater without weight. Now, a rocket mass heater has only 3 words in it, and the middle one is mass, and mass is weight. And so unfortunately, there's really no way to get around having a thermal storage battery, a thermal storage heater, that doesn't have weight. So in other words, in order to store heat for any amount of time, you need mass. It's going to be heavy. Now, there are things you can do for mobile applications where you can make that mass into formats that you can move around or that you can easily remove and move around. And the best one of those is water. So water is a great mass, right? It weighs a lot. It has a ton of thermal storage, but you can get rid of it. You know, you can offload it and onload it. So you can like have a big tank and it can be heavy, and then you can pump it out and drive to where you need to go, and it can hold up to that. So there are ways to do mass thermal heating, thermal storage in tiny spaces, but they're probably the only real significant way to do it is with water. And you can do that, but and then Felicia in the chat says, water sounds good, but it's kind of scary to think about in a tiny home. And this is exactly why I answered your question the way I did. And actually, before we get too far in this whole topic, let me just tell everybody that my answer back to that first email. We wouldn't be having this conversation, but Felicia was, like most people, really interested and adamant. But my first answer back to that email was, here's a great wood stove that I recommend for your situation and for your goals, and it's my friends at Woodstock Soapstone. It's, I think, the best wood stove, box stoves on the market, and they make a beautiful little survival stove that's like 18 inches square, not even that big. I think it's 17 or 16 and a half by 18 and a half, and it's just beautiful, and it's affordable, and you just put it in and your house is heated, and it's running at 80% efficiency, better than most rocket stoves. So when people email me and ask me for heater advice, I'm going to give you the advice for probably the best heater. But then Felicia came back with more emails, and now I know she's really interested in a rocket mass heater and is interested in maybe a project or something exciting and interesting, and there's other motivations than just wanting heat. And so it's hard sometimes to suss that out from the first email. So Felicia, I wasn't trying to throw you off. I am still recommending that stove. I do still think that is the best choice for you as a heater. I mean, I'm not going to beat around the bush. You could keep coming at me with all these different things, and I'm still going to say, I picked that for you, and I still do. But I did, that's why I wanted you here, because I want to go over, the rest of your question and why I choose the little heater. So, there are ways to accomplish all of the things you want to accomplish, and I haven't gone into the follow-up emails, but there's more to her goals that she illustrates. So, at first I'm thinking she just wants a heater, and she wants it to be safe and chemical free. And I thought Woodstock Soapstone has a great story. They're very much aligned with your values and morals. They make a great product. They're wonderful people. They sell everything out right direct from the factory. Only they'll deal with you, the customer, on the phone. You place your order with them. You can talk to the owner. It's the coolest thing. I love them. They're just a great entity in this world. So I do still think that that's the best choice for people with small spaces who don't have the ability to simply create a mass heater. However, your goals are possible, but everything that we could do to create a rocket mass heater type system to accomplish your goals is going to be so endlessly complex. So that's really, you started it when you said water sounds good, but it gets kind of scary. And that's kind of the path we start to go down, where if you start to choose, these other paths, you're going to end up with more of a project in terms of it's going to be not just a bigger project. I mean, it's going to be more of a project than it is a heater. Like, you're going to spend, an exorbitant amount of time working up the system. It's something you want to do if you want a hobby or a challenge. It's not something you want to tackle if you're trying to build a house and put a life together, in my opinion.